Good morning to you, our lovely viewers. Welcome to the weekly gospel. I'm your host, Amazing Katamanda is my name. Every time you see me here, you should be excited because we get to bring to you your favorite gospel personalities, and not only that, we also get to introduce to you new personalities. And then also we have a mental health segment which you should look forward to. But for now, I am going to introduce my beautiful guest. Her name is Minister Christine K. Moyo. So please, if you have any comments and contributions, do feel free to text us using the numbers that are on your TV screens. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take your calls, but we are receiving your text messages. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, thank you, Amazing.
It's good to have you. Let me drop the formal thing is, now we're talking to Minister Christine K. Moyo.
Yes.
It's good to have you this morning. I'm so excited. After listening to the song that you have, very powerful song, it's very personal to you.
Yes.
And this is why we brought you here, so that we can get to hear more about the testimony about the song. But before we get to that, I would just like you to give us a brief background on who Minister Christine K. Moyo is.
I see. Thank you very much once again. Christine K. Moyo is my name. I'm a gospel artist, and I started singing a long time ago, while I was still very, very young. Yes, and it's just that in those days, it was very difficult to record, you know, and we didn't have the CDs in those days. We could only have records, you know, where you'd have an album on a record, a single. Yes, and it wasn't that easy. But I had started recording songs. I had started writing songs then, way back.
Okay, so now let's talk about the song because it's very personal to you. Can we know the story behind this beautiful song?
Oh, okay. Thank you. The story behind the song, as the title of the song is Mwebakulu. Mwebakulu, showing and just appreciating God for His greatness. Indeed, like the Bible tells us, He's a God of all flesh, and nothing is too hard for Him. An is impossible with Him.
Yeah, sure.
You know, amazing. Many years ago, I got sick. Well, it just started as an ordinary headache, but it went very far. It was very severe. You know, in a few days later, I found myself in hospital and on oxygen and all the tubes all around me, and I was in the intensive care unit. And as we know, in normal circumstances, it's very difficult for one to come out. Well, of course, we do have people that come out of there, but my situation was very, very bad. And the doctors did confirm that there was literally nothing that they could do. It was a very, very bad situation. However, I really do thank God for the people that surrounded me. Firstly, my mother. She was a very prayerful woman. She was a woman of God. She was a woman of faith. I thank the Lord. May her soul rest in peace.
Oh, she's late.
She is late. She went to be with the Lord. And I know that she is resting in glory. So she stood in amazing and prayed. Just there, because what happened was, you know, that breathing machine. I'm not, well, I don't work in the hospital, but I know that when one is on a breathing machine, there is an indicator to show that it's working well. or it's not.
Yeah.
So there came a time when it just couldn't work, and that was an indicator that there was no more life. And it was very alarming. The nurses around, the doctors were so alarmed. They tried to resuscitate, but it seems it was hard.
I can imagine how traumatic it was.
It was.
The children, your loved ones.
Exactly. And for my mom, later she was telling me that, I felt like the whole world had just collapsed on me. I was an only child to my mother and my dad.
That wasn't easy for her.
No, not at all. But I thank God for her faith. I really thank God. She stood in and she cried to the Lord and she prayed. And she prayed, believing that despite what she was saying, God would still come through. And immediately after she finished praying, she started singing. It was so amazing that just when she started singing, I just, joined in the song. And it was so alarming. I mean, the doctors couldn't believe it.
It's beyond human comprehension.
It is.
Who can understand? This person was about to die. There was no chance of them living.
Exactly.
And then the next minute they are singing.
Just imagine. So it can only be God. Yes, and that's why we're saying Mweba Kulu. In the song, I'm saying Mweba Kulu. I'm appreciating God for what He has done. When we look in the Bible, the children of Israel, they always forgot what God did for them.
Unfortunately.
And I love the psalmist in Psalms 103. He says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul. Bless the Lord, forget not all His benefits." Not some, but all His benefits. So that's the scripture that I hold on to. I should never, ever forget. This thing happened many, many years ago. We're talking of more than 20 years. But it's something that I can never forget. So I came out of bed, and you can't imagine that, I started walking. I was on tubes all over, and in no time I started walking. I was taken to a crusade. Those days we used to have crusades by our very own Dr. Neighbors Mumba. So I was taken to that crusade. And I thank God for that man of God. He prayed for me, and just then I was off on all those tubes and everything else. And from that day, after he prayed for me, the following day I was discharged. I could see that the doctors were they couldn't believe it. They were actually shocked. So that is what God can do.
So you are a living testimony.
Amen. Yes.
And to the viewers, there's a saying that goes, what God cannot do does not exist. Really. This is why I'm always advising people to say, let's get to know God for ourselves. We've heard so many stories about Him, but let's try Him for ourselves and get to see what He would do for us. It's not too late for you to give your life to Christ. It's not too late for you to call Him in that situation, because many of us, when we're going through hard times, we tend to give up on hope. We tend to give up in our belief in God. We just want nothing to do with God, but this is the time that we need to seek God more than ever. So after you got healed, how was your life afterwards?
That's a very good question, Amazing. Obviously, you know that I was so touched by just what God had done, and there was a deep connection with God. Every minute, I just wanted to be worshiping God. I just wanted to be thanking Him. It was all about thanksgiving. It was all about worship. My connection to God was so deep. So I had a deeper relationship with God thereafter, yes.
And I want to know when did the song come about?
When?
Yes, like when did you write it? Because the healing took place, you said, about 20 years ago.
Yes.
But the song is recent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just want to know, like, when did you get to a place of saying, you know what, I just can't let that moment slide. I need to write something.
Exactly.
I need to preach.
Yes.
Through this song.
All right. Actually, it didn't take very long. After that, the healing, I think 2-3 years later, I wrote the song. So in other words, this song has been there. It's an old song. And I know that there are people out there who even know the song because I've heard other people even singing it. Yeah, so I wrote that song many years ago, a few years later after the testimony.
Okay.
Yes, but I didn't record it, only up until recently.
Okay. You said you've been singing for like quite some time, and somebody will be wondering, like, oh, okay, maybe she has an album. So do you have an album?
Not as yet, but the songs, of course, are there. I've written quite a number of songs, like I said, and it's now when I'm trying to put up the songs together to make up an album.
Okay, so I believe you are a woman of substance. You have your hands full with quite a number of things. So I would just like to know, like, how do you balance being a family woman, being a businesswoman, also being into ministry, and now you're adding music to it. Has always been there, and music can be very demanding. So we'd just like to know how you juggle, how you just balance things.
That's a very good question. Actually, it's not easy. I can tell you that. And now I'm talking of being a grandmother. I have to attend to my grandchildren.
And grandchildren. I remember, because for me, I think I was more close to my grandparents more than my mom.
Wow.
But now that my grandparents are no longer in the picture, this is when I'm like, oh, okay, mom. So I know how it gets with grandchildren. They always want you around. They always want to ask you all these things.
Exactly. Yeah. So like you said, it's not very easy actually. And it takes the grace of God. Last year I went into school because I went into Bible school. So you can imagine I had to be in Bible school, I had to be in class, I had to be a mother, I had to be a grandmother, I have to take care of my business as well. And then there's a ministry that by the grace of God I'm running, which is called Women on Knees.
Women on Knees.
Women on Knees, yes. And in this ministry, women come together to pray each and every morning. Yeah, so basically I would say it's purely grace. I've seen the grace of God at work. And I always ask God to give me the grace to be, not to fail in any area, because they are all very important. I don't want my business to go down because I believe it's God himself who gave it to me. So the business has to run. At the same time, I have to be a very good grandmother and a wife at the same time, and the ministry has to go on. So it's not very easy, but with God, all things are possible.
Very possible.
And of course, His grace is sufficient. Yeah, so I purely depend on His grace.
Okay. So to the viewers, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. This is the Weekly Gospel, and I'm your host, Amazing Katamandar, and I'm not alone in studio. I'm joined by Minister Christine K. Moyo. So if you have any comments and contributions, do feel free to come through using the numbers that are on your TV screens. Unfortunately, we can't take your calls, but we can receive your text messages. So let's get interactive, ladies and gentlemen. Getting back to you, Minister Christine.
Yes.
I would just like to know what kept you going music-wise, because it's very easy to give up on something that is maybe not working out, but looking at the things that you're doing, and then music-wise, you started singing way back.
Exactly.
Why did you give up on singing? Why not just shove it aside and focus on other things? Yeah. What gave you the confidence to be consistent, even up to date?
Oh yes. Well, it's something that is in me, and I'm very passionate about music. Very, very passionate. It's not something that I can just, just keep aside. Yes, it's not easy to just do away with it because it's something that is in me. Yes. And many other times when I'm having my own time with my God in that secret place, and the song just comes, So I sing along and I, continue in that singing. So it's just automatic that I had to continue. Yes.
So there's a young person out there who's planning on either giving up on something that they love. It could not be music, it could be something else, but they feel like it's not working out, let me just quit. But for you, who has experience, you've been there before.
Exactly.
In as much as you focus on other things, you still maintained the gift of singing.
Yes.
So what's your advice to a young person who's about to give up on their dreams because, well, it's not working out as they planned or as they imagined? They're thinking, okay, let me just let this go and focus on other things. What can you tell them?
Well, my advice really is don't give up. For as long as you are passionate about something, it means there's still life. And it's a matter of time. Whatever you dream of, it's very possible that you are going to have it. Like I said in my case, I started writing songs a long, long time ago. And I really desired to have these songs recorded, like releasing, like I said, in our days, it would be releasing, not CDs or these other methods, but we had records in those days, and I tried by all means. I did my best, but things couldn't just work out. But because I'm so passionate about this, I couldn't just forget about it. What am I saying? Don't give up. Don't give up. For as long as that's something that you're passionate about, it's a matter of time. Like the Bible says, in His time, He makes all things
beautiful.
And
at the right time.
At the right time, exactly.
He makes it happen. That's what He tells us in Isaiah, right?
Exactly.
So are you? I'm going to get a little bit personal here.
No problem.
Are you that mom that supports everything that her children bring to the table to say, "Mommy, I want to do this," or you are that mother that says, education first. We can't do this. Education first. Looking at the gift that you have, because I think music in Zambia, I thank God that things are evolving and people are developing a new mindset.
Yes.
But in the olden days, when you go to your parents, you tell them, I want to do music, or I want to be an actress or something.
Yes.
Something that they will tell you, you can't do that in our house, you have to go to school.
Exactly.
But these days, music is a career, you can make a career out of it.
Oh, yes.
So are you that mom that just says, you know what, as long as you're happy, my child, you can go ahead? Or you're like, not that, first this, then maybe later that.
Okay. Good question. Amazing. Well, I started singing when I was about 8, and while at that age, I learned how to play piano and guitar, and that the school that I went to then, we used to pay. Our parents used to pay for such, lessons. Yeah. And my father used to pay for those lessons. So I learned how to play guitar when I was very young, about 8. I can still play guitar now.
Wow.
Yes. So what am I saying? I wouldn't want to interfere with a gift that God has put in my child's life. And I remember our firstborn child, when he was 7, I taught him how to play the guitar. I also taught him how to play piano. Yeah, and I really wanted him to grow up with that, and also be able to teach his siblings. So I'm not that kind of mom who would stop them.
So you're a good mom. You're one of the few good moms we have. Oh wow, well, that is very beautiful, because parents can be strict, and I think we have a lot of frustrated people out there. I'm sorry to say this, but because they are not doing things they love.
Exactly.
They were just forced to do certain things. So we thank God for you. We really do. So do you see this gift of singing in your grandchildren, or does any of your children have it, and how do you feel about it?
Truthfully speaking, I would have loved them to do much more. Knowing that it's something that I've really treasured. I know that David used to spend a lot of time, singing and praising the Lord, worshiping. It's something that I would have loved to see more in my children. Like I've said, yes, the first child, I taught him the instruments, and of course he now is much better than I do play. Yes, and he's gone that way. But the other siblings, I would have loved to see them do even much more than I do. But I guess there are times I feel, no, this might not be their gift, so I can't force it on them. However, I'm looking forward to my grandchildren.
Okay, so I'm sure there are people who you, in as much as they are like the new generation, they do things differently, but I'm sure there are those ones that you would love to work with, locally or internationally. I believe that there are people you would want to work with. So can you please share with us the names of those people who you would want to work with?
Oh, I see. Good question. The truth of the matter is that music is so wide. It's very wide, and there are different types of music. And of course, for us, the elderly, we've got our own style.
Yeah, and I think your music was kind of very peaceful. I know I sound old school, right? I know I sound old school, but I think I prefer the old. Compared to the
that's why we love hymns, and we've got our own style. But at the same time, we do appreciate, your raps and your rapping. Of course, but so I don't have a specific people that I want to work with. But of course I have Christine has featured in my song, and I often call him when we have meetings for the women on knees. Yes, she comes and she does minister. Yes, and for as long as the music that they do is kind of elderly like ours, there's no harm in working with them. I would want to work with them, the other artists out there.
Okay, that is very good. That is very good. But for me, honestly, I just feel like that sound like is, I don't know, it's something we can't even like explain. It's very peaceful, like there's no noise. You get every word that is sung, and like these days you have to put on repeat, like wait what? So it's good to know that you're open-minded, honestly, to working with everybody else. Future plans, things that you would want to achieve music-wise, because I know you've already achieved your dreams and everything, but music-wise?
Well, music-wise, like I've already said, I'd written a lot of songs, and I would want these songs to be recorded as well. So I'd wish to have an album done, and I wish to do more preaching in the songs that I've written. Yes, so those are the plans that I have.
Okay, preaching more, using songs. I'm sure there are people who are watching and they would want to like maybe work with you. So how can they get in touch with you? Any social handles?
Oh, okay. They can catch me on Facebook, Christine Moyo.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So can I throw you off under the bus a bit? I know I'm not allowed to do this, but can I? Can I do that?
Sure.
I have to get your permission. Can I? I'm asking somebody in the background.
Why not? Why not?
Okay, so I know each one of us, there are songs that keep us in our happy times, in our sad times.
Yes.
So I want you to just give us a simple chorus of that song that just keeps you going when you're happy, when you're sad, when things are not fine, when things are fine. But it's just that particular song that just keeps you going. Can you give us that song? Just a simple chorus. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't have people to back me, meaning I'll have to sing and then respond along.
I would also want to throw somebody off. The person that is in studio right now, can she sing?
Oh, yes.
She can?
She does.
Please come through. Please come through. Please. I'm begging, please. Just come back, mommy up. And that's her daughter. Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. I just love doing this.
I've been trapped, yo.
Yeah. First, before you even start, okay, do the song and then we'll get to know who she is.
Okay. Ngana tontom kanya pabusuma wenu no bukulu wenu
Mwele samali wa ma.
Ngana tontom kanya pabusuma wenu no bukulu wenu
Mwele samali wa ma.
Chikuku chenu ulu selwenu kute mwakwenu mwele samali wa ma. Mwali wa malesa mwali wa ma. Mwali wa ma Mweleza mwali wa ma, mwali wa ma yawe, mwali wa ma, mwali wa ma, mweleza mwali wa ma.
Hey, I know I'm not happy with me, but we just had to do that. We can't allow mommy sing alone.
I can't believe you did. I feel
I'm so
trapped.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Can we get your name? Can we just know a few things about you before we let you go? Because I know time is on our side. We have to let you go now.
Okay. Well, I'm Chatoa. Yeah, my name is Chatoa. Chatoa Bosulu. Yes, I'm married to a wonderful man called Emmanuel Bosulu. Shout out. Yeah, and I'm an accountant by profession.
Okay.
Yeah.
That voice, though, where are you hiding it? Do you sing in the praise?
Yes, I do. I serve in church. At least I serve.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I want you to look into this camera and then introduce Mami's song, even as we are allowing you to go.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm turning you into the host today. We are taking you away from the accounts office and we're taking you to the host. So that's the camera. Introduce Mami's song, but I want you to introduce it in such a way that you know there are people who we admire so much, like we inspire so much, and we have all these nice things to say about them. So now I want you to say those nice things as you're introducing me.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce an amazing woman who's done so much. She ministers not only to us, her children, but to so many people, you know, around her, her employees. She's a woman with a big heart. She loves God. She serves God. And personally, as her child, I feel so privileged that she's my mother. If at all we had, you know, to pick our moms, I'll totally pick her, you know, all over again. So yeah, introducing to you Minister Christine and her song called Mwewakulu.
Alright. Thank you so much. Viewers, let's enjoy that song. We'll see you on the side. Don't go away because we still have the mental health segment.
Mweleza waningana ibukisha sefyo mwabumbile kabumba namone ntanda nenkuba na umfwa yawe ambaka yenu lesa mwalilanga kulifwe lesa wani ganalolekeshe chine ifintu fyonsefyo mwabumbile yawe namone ntanda nenkuba na umfwa kabumba ambaka yenu lesa mwalilanga palifwe kamulumba lesa wani kamulumba lesa wani kamulumba lesa wani mwebakulu mwebakulu katotela shani lesa wani katotela shani lesa wani katotela lesa wani mwebakulu mwebakulu kamwimbila lesa wani kamwimbila lesa wani kamwimbila ine lesa wani mwebakulu mwebakulu kamupepa lesa wani kamupepa lesa wani kamupepa lesa wani mwebakulu mwebakulu kamupepa lesa wani kamupepa lesa wani kamupepa lesa wani mwebakulu
Zambia, are you ready? Zambia Youth Conference 2024 is here with Archbishop Dr. Bernard and Mrs. Bibiana Nwaka under the theme Raising the Next Generation of Priests and Kings. From the 17th to the 21st of April 2024, speakers Apostle Dr. Francis Pius, Bishop Robinson Fondong, and others, and ministering in music, Ephraim, Son of Africa. Time from the 17th to the 19th of April from 4 p.m. On the 20th of April from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. On the 21st of April from 9 a.m. at Living Water Global Church in Kitwe, Zambia, near Usakile roundabout behind Puma Pumping Station. Come and become a history maker.
And you are still watching it. It is the Weekly Gospel with me, host, Amazing Katamanda. You know, we're here every Saturdays at 10:45 to give you nothing but the best when it comes to your favorite gospel personalities. And then also we have a segment for mental health illnesses or just mental health. So if you care much about your mental health, this is the opportunity for you to sit down and then learn from the professionals, because we don't just get random people and then bring them here. We get people who are experienced. So I have a panel with me that is going to help me discuss our topic of discussion today, which is stigma. I know we know what it is. Some of us don't know. But anyway, we have people that are going to help us. So I'm your host, Amazing Katawanda is my name, and let me allow my panel to introduce themselves, because I don't want to do the introductions. I want them to introduce themselves. So I'll start with, no ladies first. We'll start with the gent, because he's the only gent. So we start with you, sir, and then we get to madam, and then we get to madam. Yes.
All right, my name's Kizito Bulaya. I'm a 4th-year student doing a Bachelor of Science in Mental Health and Clinical Psychiatry at Levi Mwanawasa Medical University, as well as a member of the Levi Mwanawasa Mental Health Association. My background, I'm a clinician, and I think I'm also what I like this time. I'm so proud to be part of the Mental Health Society, and I claim to be a mental health activist.
Okay. All right, my beautiful madam, lady.
I'm Olivia Mdale, a PhD student at Levi Mwanawasa Medical University, pursuing my diploma in mental health nursing, and I'm also a member of the association. I'm in the disciplinary committee.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm a start discipline. Yes. Okay, and you, my lady here.
Okay, so my name is Rosemary Siachoke. I'm a 3rd-year student at Levi, pursuing my diploma in mental health nursing. Yes, I'm also a member of the Mental Health Association.
Okay, so today we have a very interesting topic: stigma. So what is stigma?
Okay, basically stigma is a social alienation that comes from a stereotypical type of thinking as a result of either a disability, a mental health issue, in particular, in general, let's just say of a condition that one may have, and then society begins to align you. So a group of people will come up and then will align you, like remove your capabilities, remove your abilities, even when you are capable. So basically, like in a layman's, removing all the jargons and what, that is what stigma would be.
Okay. So I know there are myths, I know there are misconceptions when it comes to like stigma and mental health and the like. So we would just like to know, like, what are some of the myths that people have and the misconception about mental health that leads to stigmatization?
Maybe I think because earlier on we had to discuss, like when we are coming, we are discussing. So before we even actually venture into that, probably I would ask Olivia to also talk about the levels of stigma, because stigma is at different levels.
Yeah,
it would be easier for us to discuss the myths, because so if we are going to talk about the myth, we'll be telling you whether is it at the institutional level, is it probably Olivia.
Okay, so we talk about the stages first.
Yes, it would be easier, so that when we are talking about that myth, who does it affect? Where is it coming from?
Okay, so on that one, I can say that there's self-stigma, there's also public stigma, and institutional stigma. So in self-stigma, it's that part where myself, because of mental disorder, I'll start looking down upon myself. I'll start having low esteem. I won't be able to come out and do something. If I want to do something, I'll have the why question in me. I'll be like, why should I do it? Even if I do that thing, they'll still look down upon what I'll do. That is where self-stigma comes in. Then on public stigma, it's where I want to do something, then people out there, they'll start pointing fingers at me because of mental condition. Then they'll start saying, even if she's going to do that, she has that condition, then the community now, the public will start pointing, even if pointing at me, even if I do something, they'll start saying, as Tachani, that person is mad or crazy. After that person was even once taken a Chainama. Because of that, people start looking down upon what I want to do. Then when it comes to institutional stigma, it's that thing where you are working, you're at work, then because of a condition that you have, they'll start looking down upon you. They'll say if we give him or her a task to do, that person can't do it fully because of the condition. Thank you.
Okay, I believe my sister, you also have something to say, my girl.
Under institutional stigma, even some policies that are there, they can be intentional or unintentional policies that are looking down upon people with mental illness. Even the way sometimes maybe someone with a mental illness can be given a task, and then the task given, they don't pay them according to the money that they are supposed to be given. Yes, that can also be an example of an institutional stigma.
Okay, I'm very much interested on the personal one. That's the one that I'm very much interested in, because everything starts with me at the end of the day, before even how society treats me or how community treats me or how an institution treats me. The way I treat myself matters as well. So I would like to know, how do I deal with self-stigma? Like, how can I get over it?
Okay. I don't know if I can, as I answer that, if I can go back to the question I had asked before I brought the levels of stigma.
No, it's okay, you can go back.
Yeah, so it was going to be easier because as I'm talking about a particular myth, you would know whether it is institutional, whether it's public,
community,
or it's institutional and self. Stigma. So that's why I asked Olivia probably if she could like highlight, and it's good that Rosemary has also like given the other aspect where it becomes to policies and okay. So now when you look at one of the self stigmas that is very common, I'll use it on ourselves who are doing mental health. You know, the moment I tell you I'm doing mental health, you know what some of our friends think of? We end up being patients ourselves. So like yesterday I was playing pool, and then you know, as we are playing pool, then this guy looks at me and says, you know, Doc, I've been seeing you around, but which course are you doing? Then I was like, I'm studying mental health. I'm actually in my 4th year, Bachelor of Science in Mental Health. Then I was like, wow, are you not scared that
You might.
so now the self-stigma that may develop in me, and God forbid, which I want, I hope it doesn't come, because I'm really proud to be what I'm becoming now. It will be like when you go in public and then you ask me, Kizito, where you work at the hospital, what do you do? I just said, no, I'm a clinician from there. So I'm scared. The fear is not you who I'm telling, but myself. If I tell I'm amazing to say, no, amazing, I'm actually a psychiatrist, then she'll be like, wow. So now imagine if I'm already married, but I'm just giving an example. I want to propose to Olivia. So as I'm going to propose to Olivia, the first question that would be in my mind, if I tell her, don't she think my husband will run mad? Olivia doesn't even think about that. The one who's aligning himself is myself. Thinking the moment I say I'm a psychiatrist, I work with people that have mental health issues. The first thing should be like, so he works with mad people. Is he normal himself? Okay. So it is me who's creating the self-stigma. Now the question that you asked is, how do I move about? The problem is not society, the problem is you. The one who needs help is you, not the community. And like when it goes now to public and institution, so for self-stigma, what you need, remember I think the last time I came where we were talking about psychotherapy and counseling, basically that's what you need. Because you need to talk to somebody and who make you understand to say, no, this is not what it is. The problem is you. Thinking the moment I say I'm doing psychiatry, then everyone will be like, oh, so the guy is mad. And if I was mad, would I be at that level?
I think I have a question, and this one is away from the conversation we're having. Dealing with people who have mental health issues, mad people, You need to have some level.
Maybe you retract the word mad people. Maybe say people with mental health issues.
Okay, sorry. People with mental health issues. They don't do things the way we do. They don't understand things the way we do because they're not okay.
Yeah.
So now, in order for you to understand them, at some point you need to bring yourself to their level. And I guess this is where now that self-stigma is coming from, because when we look at you, you're like, a normal person can't just understand this. They have to have some level of so I don't know if it's just me here, but I want to understand. Do you have that level of where you need to come down to the level of people who are sick? Or maybe you can still do it with your right senses?
I don't know, maybe I may be talking too much, but you know, when you are looking at a situation, there are two types of words that we apply to, which is sympathy and empathy.
Okay.
So, in your case, I think you're applying more of sympathy. Like you don't really, you're saying, okay, there is this, but because you do not have the right information, the right thing to do about it, so you are sympathizing. Okay. In my case, I'm trained to empathize. I do not need to be mentally ill for me to treat a mentally ill patient. I'm trained to not say this condition is this and what I do is this. Yesterday again, I was going somewhere, and then this guy was in campus in China. The guy that was walking in front, he just knelt down and started crying. But he better to pee, and he was wailing like they've stolen his body. So the people were like passing were like. So I told the guys when I'm playing, but you know, when I was coming, one of our clients actually was crying that they stole his body. It was funny for them, but for me it's normal. So people can have hallucinations.
So you are trained to empathize.
Yes, and not become, you know, empathy
Not
is like
really
you,
coming to the level, but you just...
no, you go to the level, but you don't become that level.
Okay.
Coming to the level and becoming that level are two different.
They are two different things.
Yeah, so we empathize. So we'll be like, okay, even just these days, let's talk about if you go to the hospital, you find the nurse, right? You have the card. What do? They give you a painkiller, they switch out. You know why they're doing that? They are feeling your pain, but they don't have the pain in itself.
Yeah.
So that if I was in this position, definitely I would feel pain. So this is why most of them will be gentle, like they'll talk to you nicely. Are they patients?
They're not.
Exactly.
So you just empathize.
Yes.
You don't come to people's levels, you just empathize.
Yes, that's why most people think at the end of the day, so how many years are you going to meet me like in Cairo Road?
Like how many years should I give you? Olivia? That's very, I'm counting, like how many years down the line? Okay, so to the viewers, I hope that you are taking notes of everything that's been said, because in as much as we are joking, we are also learning. So coming to community stigma, how do we deal with that? How can we help the community to just get more knowledge, get more insight on the importance of avoiding the stigma against mental health patients?
I really appreciate, and on behalf of the association, the chairperson and everyone else in the executive and even the members, I would want to say thank you so much, Camnet, because that question you've given us like to respond to is one of the interventions. Education. Let people know what they are dealing with, and they'll not be scared. And I guess, having talked about empathy and what, most people now stop looking at us as one day we run mad because we attend to people that are mad. I've seen people who are teachers, they don't go back to grade 1 yet they teach grade 1.
No, they don't.
So why are we going to become like that? So even society needs to understand that, to say, if you know something better, then you actually be able to accept it. You remember when COVID came, imagine the one coughing, are you even going to sit there?
No! I don't think Olivia even
I can't.
So that was not self-stigma, that was public stigma.
Yeah.
But the more people began to understand COVID, you know, would have been a bus, you're on a bus going to town, and then you cough in a bus, you see people getting up and going like that, and then they're going to town. But this time they understand COVID, they're able to sit in a bus. This time even I have a mild cough, you're able to sit and we interact. So one, let's have community sensitization, what you are doing, discuss issues at the level that the community understands. Let's have policies that will enable even the communities and the families affected.
Yeah.
I think maybe my colleagues also add on.
Personally, I feel like it is important for the families to start, let's say it starts within the family, because if I have a relative who is mentally disturbed, I will know whom to share that with, and once I share it with my cousins and others in the family, I have to tell them that it is not only that person who can run mad, everyone can, as long as we are faced with challenges out there, and let's say like the way I'm a student, if I fail to cope, I fail to understand some things, I'll start panicking, I'll start stressing. At the end of it, I can even be mentally disturbed. So I feel like it starts within the family. If you talk about it, share the importance and talk about how you can help one, I think that way it will reduce the stigma. When you solve it within, it can be taken outside and people out there can't point at you. So I feel it starts within.
Okay.
Yes.
What about you, Rosemary?
As Olivia said it, like it starts within. I feel my colleagues have said most of the things, because the most important things is the people have to know what causes the mental illnesses, and then they have to learn to stay with the people around, with the people with the mental illnesses. Again, it's also up to us, the health workers, to go in the communities and to teach or sensitize about the mental issues that are that can arise within families and anyone else. Even what we're doing here, we're more like sensitizing, talking about mental illness, so anyone who's watching can have knowledge about mental illness, and then even stigma itself, it can also be reduced.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think also companies, institutions need to learn about the stigma surrounding mental health issues?
Yeah, a lot.
How can we go about it? Because I believe for you as an association, you've already started, you are here, you are helping, but it's not everybody who's getting this information. So how can we disseminate information to everybody, especially institutions? Because I think I've seen this in institutions, because I've worked with different institutions, and I can say that the stigma is real. And it's quite sad to see people who are educated being part. Well, the audience. I think even myself, there was a time when, I'm just like, hey, I can't be around that person with the way they are, So how can we sensitize? How can we disseminate information to just ensure that we are helping our brothers and sisters who are suffering from mental health issues?
Maybe I will start from where you are saying even those that are educated. You know that there are the people that actually stigmatize more, because they will use science, they will use everything that they know, yet they're using it wrongly. I'll give a very good example. The time we had COVID, if there's a death of COVID in the these nice places, Kumayadi, right? There, even the neighbors won't even go anywhere near. It will just be the family line. But Mkombo, COVID. They were going. They were just. It took cancer people to for
stop them.
Yes, for them they would go. You find the church is packed when they on the door until they started saying no. When you die of COVID, we are going to be barring straight to restrict. It took the council to stop them. Why? For them, they had no knowledge about which the other ones have. So if you want to stop stigma at institutional level, first things first, as you are having these workshops you have, put a component of mental health. People are going to learn about it. In your policies, have policies that are destigmatizing, not stigmatizing. Okay? You know, the time of COVID, if you want to be absent from work, call your boss direct and tell him, I tested positive. They will not even ask you to bring the sick note.
No.
They will just say, no, you stay there, you can stay until you are better.
Until you are better, you can come back.
Okay, so the stigma that was associated with COVID was enough to make you even go and do something else somewhere else without official permission to do that. So let's begin to destigmatize by putting in policies. You know, like Olivia said, anyone else, as long as you've got a head, you're going to be one day a client. If you are stressed, you go there. You may not need hospitalization. And then even the other thing that I would even want to beg so much is probably the policymakers. Let the policymakers put up policies such that mental health is put up, and even stigma will also go down. Because lack of understanding of mental health is the reason why there is so much stigma. What you understand, amazing, you never be afraid of it. You know, this is why you find there are people, you go in a zoo like these guys for Zawa, who work at Zawa. Zambia Wildlife Association, I don't know what it is. Is it authority? Zambia Wildlife Authority, Those work there. Aren't you surprised that they can actually walk in the bush?
Yeah.
If I left you there, would you manage it?
No, you can't get leave me. The one is one on time.
Yeah. So those understand the bush. They understand the animals, how to react. So they're not scared. So for us, we see witchcraft in them. So what you understand, you'll never be afraid of it. So if we are to bring down the levels of stigma, increase the understanding of mental health. Even the same Chainama, you know, I was with a friend yesterday, was asking me to say, you know, if you had in a relationship and you're failing to move over, so what you do? I was like, my friend, if you're failing to move over, the relationship ended. You're still thinking you need help. So you go, I can refer you to somewhere at Chainama. Hey, the way the person backed up. I'm like, my friend, you need help. And the help is found there. So lack of understanding of mental health will increase the stigma. So the reversal will actually reduce. So increase the mental health and the stigma will reduce. You cannot have those two things at the same level. One is high, the other one go down. So choose which one do you want. Do you want to increase stigma? Don't talk about mental health.
Okay.
If you want to increase mental health, or you want to increase mental health, talk about the stigma will go down. Basically, that is.
Okay, so there are families who have patients. They keep them away from everyone because of the same stigma that we're talking about. I would want you to advise them, on what to do, because I know of a family that had a sick person and they used to lock this person inside a room. They didn't want people to know that the person was sick, and she died, and people didn't even know because no one was going to check on her because she was violent and everything. And the time they went to check on her, she had already decomposed. It was really sad. So we have people who think like it's normal, we just need to lock this person because we don't want people knowing. We don't want stories going around saying that family, they have this condition, that family, they have that. Can you please just tell us on how we can just change and how we can just do things better?
I think my colleagues will handle that because they're the ones that are so much into the care, the patient care and...
Personally, I think the reason why they fail to come out is because of stigma. So I feel when they explain to their relatives, friends in the community, they'll be able to take their patient out there. So they'll be able to be freely they will freely go at Chainama and seek the services, because after they've understood the whole point why Chainama is there, they will even go freely, because they will know that even if I go there, no one will point at me, no one will label me as a sick person. So I feel the very best thing to do is, first the people shouldn't point at others saying that one is sick, because anyone can fall sick. So I feel our doors at Chainama are very open. They're open for everyone, be it a race, culture, tribe, everyone is welcome at Chainama. So they shouldn't just be keeping their relatives locked up. Instead, they should open up, they should bring them at Chainama. Well, they'll be welcomed, we're welcoming. It's not like when they come there we'll point at them. No, even me, I can fall sick, I can still find myself at Chainama. So it's not like when somebody is sick they should just stay home. No, they should just open up, they should bring them out. That's what I can advise the viewers.
Right. Rosemary, do you have anything to say?
Yes. I also think people should stop minding what other people say or what other people are going to think of them.
Very, very important.
Yes. So they shouldn't depend on what people are going to say concerning the situation of their relatives or them, because at the end of it all, the people who are going to be affected, if that person wants to get better, or if the person will get worse or maybe might die, it's the family that will be affected. So it's better if the family members stand up and to stand on their ground to say, even if this person is behaving this way, even if people will say this, us are going to seek help, because it's us who need the help, not the people that are going to be talking.
Very true.
Yes. So I feel people should just have that self-esteem in them. They shouldn't be minding what people say around them. As Olivia said, people at Chainama, we welcome people at Chainama. We don't only attend to those people who the society says they are mad. The Lemon language, people call them mad, but us, we call them our patients. They've got mental illness. Not every Chainama is not only a place for people with mental illness. Even if someone just needs help, like maybe counseling, that mean that when you come for counseling, you've got a mental illness. Maybe you might just have issues with coping up. Yes. So we welcome everyone. So we encourage people to be coming through to Chainama. Then if they feel like sometimes this time, the most of the time people complain about transport and everything. So I feel maybe the government will also or they'll work on opening mental facilities
in each community,
just to help people with those disorders. I'm sure Charleston has a unit as well where they just deal with cases to do with mental health. They opened a unit there. Yes, so people can visit hospitals, they can visit Chainama anytime they feel like, it's not limited.
All right. So thank you so very much, Mr. Kizito. Your last remarks, because when the 10 minutes of the show, you close remarks.
Yeah, I think we talked so much about Chainama. I want to make mention that they are all over the country, even in most of these hospitals, not only district hospitals. There are people who are trained in psychiatry at diploma level. They are called clinical psychiatrists.
Oh, okay.
So even if you walked in like Rosemary mentioned, walk into any clinic, if they don't have a clinical psychiatrist there, they will send you to one nearby. You may not need to go
I think
to China.
Emmanuel mentioned last week to say you can go to any clinic, and then if they fail to handle it there, then they will refer.
That's when they'll refer. So it's like if you have they will have a cough and failing to resolve, I can go to Mtendere. Then if it fails to resolve, they'll send me now to UTH or Levi Manawasa. So even any mental health issue, go to any clinic. If they fail to handle it, you won't even need transport. They will provide the transport. That's why ambulances are there.
Yeah.
So they'll provide the transport to Chainama. So Chainama is actually a national referral center for mental health issues.
Okay.
So for those who are in Musaka, they are lucky because they can actually do a bypass and go there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Olivia, closing remarks?
Me, what I can say is that feel free, the viewers, feel free to seek healthy services from Chainama, just because it is Chainama, and a lot of people say when you go there you're mad. It's not like that. You can go there, at least, okay, before you even take relatives or seek health services, you can just go there for visiting. You can even take the things that you feel like, okay, there are patients that side, they have relatives who don't visit them. If you have something, pass through Chinama and take those things, then you can understand how Chinama is. It's not everyone who's mentally sick is there, no. Feel free to pass through to Chinama and just advise people out there that if you are mentally sick, it doesn't mean that the world will look down upon you. No, it's not like that. It's not the end of the world. When you're mentally disturbed, you can go to Chinama and feel free to visit Chinama.
Okay, what about you? What's my closing remarks?
So I'll end by saying people shouldn't be looking down on people with mental illness. They should be able to come up, like they should be able to be open enough to help others in the communities. The stigma should be reduced, so people should learn more about mental health. There are a lot of facilities that offer mental health services around the country. It's not only China, as my colleague said it. Yes. So I feel people should be free enough to talk about mental issues that are common in the communities. Yes, I think that's all for me today.
Okay, so we've come to the end of the show, but before we go, I would like to find out, have we worked on the social media platforms as an association?
I think Facebook is on now. We have a page on Facebook.
Which is?
Everyone else a mental health association.
Yes.
Okay, so you paid. Make sure that you follow that page, and if you have any issues whatsoever, these people, our people, they are very much open anytime, any day. Reach out to them and they will help you, and if they need to refer you to somebody, they will definitely do that. So I hope that you have learned a thing or two, or maybe you have learned a whole lot of things just like I have, because if I say I've learned a thing or two, I've learned a whole lot of things. So thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you coming, and I'm looking forward to next week. I don't know what topic we're going to have, but I'm looking forward to next week. I don't know if it's the same team that is going to come through, or it's a different team, because it's a big team, ladies and gentlemen, and we want everybody to just come and school us or educate us, give us this information that we need. So we've come to the end of the show. I would like to say thank you to my director, Mr. C, and not forgetting the pastors for giving us this platform, Pastor Moses and Victoria Chilua. This has been amazing, Katamanda, and I'll always be the amazing Katamanda. For now, it's goodbye. Keep it locked to Camnet TV. You know, and not just another channel.
Yeah.